Okay, let's just get right into it. If you've ever felt like studying is this massive uphill battle, then stick around because we're about to completely reframe how you think about learning. And no, we're not talking about working harder. We're talking about working a whole lot smarter.
You know, this quote right here, it nails it. So many incredibly bright students struggle, and it has absolutely nothing to do with how smart they are. The real problem is that no one ever actually taught them the technique of how to learn.
I mean, does that feeling ring a bell? You're staring at a textbook for hours, rereading the same paragraph over and over, and you just feel like nothing is sticking? Yeah, you are definitely not alone in that.
And this really gets to the heart of the student's dilemma. Our whole education system is built around teaching us what to learn. Math, science, history. But the actual skill of how to study that stuff, it's almost completely ignored.
Just think about it. We're told to listen in class, read the book, and somehow magically just memorize it all. But we're never really given the tools to do that well, and that leads to a really common and totally wrong self-diagnosis.
So when we're faced with these challenges, when studying feels impossible, we tend to grab for the easiest explanation we can find, and that usually involves blaming some personal limitation we feel we can't change.
And that explanation almost always sounds something like this. I just have a bad memory. It becomes the go-to reason, right? It feels like this permanent flaw, this thing you're stuck with. But what if that entire diagnosis is just wrong?
This is where we need to make a pivot. It's time to shift the diagnosis away from something you are and towards something you do. See, the problem isn't your brain's storage capacity. It's the system you're using to put stuff in there.
And this lays it out perfectly. We got to move away from the myth, this idea of a fixed memory problem, and start looking at the reality, a solvable processing problem. This is the key. This is the big aha moment.
So what is a processing problem? Well, simply put, it means the issue isn't your ability to store information. It's about the active skills, how you listen, how you analyze what you're reading, how you organize it in your head, and, this is a big one, how you practice recalling it. All of these, they're learnable skills. And if it's a processing problem, then what you need is a new set of tools. That's where a system like the 59 Secrets to Studying comes into play. It's designed specifically to fix these exact issues. And the payoff here is so much bigger than just better grades. It's about building real, lasting knowledge. It's about achieving a deeper understanding. And honestly, it's about getting your time back by studying less, not more.
Now, these aren't just random tips somebody came up with. They're all grounded in solid research into how our brains actually work. We're talking about the science of memory, how the brain processes information, how you can actually learn to control your concentration, how to read faster, the whole shebang. But here's the crucial part. You can't just passively listen to these ideas and expect a miracle. You have to be active. You have to get in there and experiment. Question the methods. Try them out. See what actually works for you. So let's look at what happens when you start fixing that process. The entire experience of learning begins to transform. It's like a domino effect, where one good habit just naturally leads to another.
So for example, let's say you know exactly how to get the absolute most out of every single class you attend.
Well, if you do that, you're not going to have to do that incredibly frustrating thing where you read the same chapter over and over again because nothing sank in the first time.
And then, let's say you master how to process all that new information the right way from the get-go.
Well then, that memory problem you thought you had, it just disappears. Because it was never really the problem in the first place. It was just a symptom.
And here's the ultimate outcome, the real game changer. When you understand how your mind works best, your study time just naturally shrinks. Not because you're cutting corners, but because every single minute you spend is 1,000 times more effective.
And that really brings us to this final, powerful idea. Learning isn't just something you do, it's a skill you can master. And once you master that one skill, it unlocks the ability to learn absolutely anything you want.
So the only question left is, what will you master first?